Stop exactly where you are, put down your phone, close your eyes, and imagine the worst nightmare for any person in love. You have found your soulmate. You have fought against the world, the media, and the jealous exes. You think the hardest part is over. But then, you knock on the door of the people who matter most, your partner's parents, and the door doesn't open. Today, the fairy tale of Dilbar hit a wall that no scriptwriter could invent. Bariş Baktaş, the man adored by millions, the king of social media, has reportedly been rejected, humiliated, and turned away by the humble, traditional family of Yağmur Yüksel. Why was Bariş Baktaş seen sitting in his car outside Yağmur's family home in a quiet Istanbul neighborhood late last night, gripping the steering wheel with white knuckles, looking like a man who had just lost a war? Why were the lights in the Yüksel house on until dawn, with neighbors reporting the sounds of Yağmur crying and pleading with her father? And is it true that the sentence uttered by Yağmur's father at the dinner table, "You may be a star, son, but you bring too much darkness for my daughter's light," has officially put an end to any wedding plans? Prepare your tissues, because today we are witnessing the collision of fame and family values. To understand the tragedy, we have to understand the background. Yağmur Yüksel comes from a respectful, private, and traditional family. They are not impressed by fame. They are not impressed by money. They care about honor, reputation, and peace. For months, they have watched their daughter be dragged through the mud in the press. They read the news about Barış's divorce. They saw the scandals, the cheating rumors, the chaotic lifestyle. To a traditional father, Bariş Baktaş isn't a golden boy. He is a walking red flag. He is danger. Yesterday evening was supposed to be the icebreaker. Bariş Baktaş, determined to win them over, arranged a formal dinner to meet Yağmur's parents properly. Sources say he prepared for days. He cut his hair. He wore a respectful, classic suit, no leather jackets, no open shirts. He bought the finest chocolates and a bouquet of flowers that cost a fortune. He wanted to show them. I am not a playboy. I am a serious man who loves your daughter. He arrived at the house at 7 p.m. Yağmur met him at the door. She looked nervous. She knew this was going to be hard. When Bariş entered the living room, the atmosphere was reportedly colder than a Siberian winter. Yağmur's mother accepted the flowers with a polite nod, but didn't smile. Yağmur's father, he didn't even stand up to shake Barış's hand immediately. He stayed seated, observing him with a critical eye. This was the first strike. In Turkish culture, not welcoming a guest warmly is a sign of deep disapproval. They sat down for dinner. Witnesses, likely neighbors or household help, say the conversation was painful. Bariş tried to make small talk. He talked about his work, his future plans, his respect for Yağmur. But the father kept cutting him off with sharp, pointed questions. We read in the newspaper that you are still dealing with court cases, Bariş Bey. Is that true? We saw photos of you with other women last month. How do we know you won't do the same to our Yağmur? Your life is loud. Our Yağmur likes silence. How will you give her peace when cameras follow you to the bathroom? Bariş tried to defend himself. Sir, the press lies. Those are rumors. I have left my past behind. Yağmur is my everything. And then came the explosion. The moment that shattered the night. Towards the end of the meal, Bariş reportedly gathered his courage and hinted at his intention to marry Yağmur in the future. He said something like, "I hope to ask for your blessing one day." Yağmur's father put down his fork. The sound of metal hitting the porcelain plate echoed in the silent room. He looked Bariş in the eye and delivered the verdict. You will not get my blessing, Bariş. Yağmur gasped. Baba. Quiet, Yağmur, her father said sternly. Then he turned to Bariş. You seem like a nice boy. You are talented. But you are baggage. You come with scandals, with ex-wives, with lawyers, with screaming fans. My daughter is young. She is innocent. I didn't raise her to be fodder for magazine covers. I didn't raise her to cry while waiting for her husband to clear his name. He stood up. You are not the right man for this family. Please, drink your tea, and then leave. And do not speak of marriage in this house again. The humiliation was absolute. Barish Baktaş is used to people screaming his name in adoration. He is used to being the king. To be told he is not good enough because of his lifestyle, it destroyed his ego. But worse, it broke his heart, because he knew the father was right about the chaos. Bariş stood up. His face was red. He looked at Yağmur. She was crying silently, head bowed, torn between the man she loves and the father she respects. Bariş didn't argue. He didn't shout. He showed his class. I understand your concerns, sir, he said, his voice shaking slightly. But I love her. And I will prove you wrong. I will wait. He walked out. Yağmur ran after him to the door. On the doorstep, out of sight of her father, they had a heartbreaking moment. Bariş cupped her face. Don't cry. This isn't the end. It's just a mountain we have to climb. He won't change his mind, Bariş, Yağmur sobbed. He is stubborn. He thinks you will ruin me. Then I will spend the rest of my life showing him that I am building you up, not tearing you down, Bariş promised. He got into his car. But he didn't leave immediately. He sat there for an hour. Just sitting. Thinking. Realizing that love isn't enough when family stands in the way. In Turkey, marrying without family approval is a curse. It brings unhappiness. Bariş knows this. He doesn't want to steal Yağmur, he wants to be given her hand. Now, the situation is critical. Yağmur is reportedly grounded, metaphorically. The atmosphere in her house is tense. Her parents are pressuring her to distance herself from him. Bariş is back in his lonely apartment, probably looking at the engagement ring he planned to buy, wondering if he will ever get to put it on her finger. The internet is divided. Some fans are angry at the family, they are old-fashioned. Let them live. Bariş is a good man, they should give him a chance. But many are agreeing with the father. He is right. Barış's life is a mess. A father protects his daughter. Who would want their child in the middle of that storm? Love doesn't feed you. Peace feeds you. Bariş brings drama. This is the ultimate test for Dilbar. It is easy to love when fans are cheering. It is hard to love when your own mother refuses to shake his hand. Will Yağmur rebel against her father? That is a huge risk. Or will Bariş change his entire life, quit the scandals, maybe even quit the fame, just to prove he is worthy of her? I want to ask you, my dear subscribers. And put yourself in the father's shoes. If you had a daughter like Yağmur, would you give her to Bariş Baktaş? Be honest. Does his past matter, or should the father only look at how much he loves her? And what should Bariş do now? Keep trying, or walk away to let her have a peaceful life? I will be watching the set tomorrow. If Yağmur's eyes are puffy, we know the fight at home continues. Bariş Baktaş has conquered the ratings, but he has failed to conquer the most important audience of all, the in-laws. Make sure you are subscribed. Make sure the bell is on. Today, we learn that sometimes, the villain isn't a jealous ex, but a protective father who loves his daughter too much to let her get hurt. Stay strong, Dilbar. Goodbye.